Hi General Maths students, here's the second video on GST. This example's slightly more complicated. It involves the GST chain. So what I mean by that is that it's not just retailers who charge GST, it's also wholesalers. So what we have here is a lounge couch, and a wholesaler has sold that to a retailer, and that retailer is going to sell it to the general public. So there's, I suppose, three people involved in the chain here. We've got wholesaler, who sells the couch to a retailer, who then sells the couch to whoever comes into the shop. I'll just say general public. Now, the wholesaler is going to charge a 10% GST to the retailer, and the retailer charges a 10% GST to the general public. The difference is that the general public can't claim that 10% back. They just have to pay it and it goes to the government, whereas the retailer does get to claim that 10% back, so they don't end up having to pay that. And that's what we need to work out. Okay, so in part A we're asked, how much did this couch cost the retailer once he claimed GST credit on the purchase? Okay, so the retailer paid $520, and that included GST. So in this one, we need to take GST off. So that means we're going to find 1/11 of that 520 and subtract it. Okay, so we're going to take the 520, multiply by 1/11, and that gives us $47.27 to the nearest cent. So we subtract that to find out what this would cost the retailer once he claimed the GST credit. So 520 minus 47.27 gives $472.73. Okay, so that's what it's going to cost the retailer after they've claimed that. So that's the number we're going to work with from here on, okay, into part B. So in part B, we're asked how much should the retailer sell the couch for if he wished to make a 25% profit and must charge 10% GST on the sale. Okay, so in this one, step one will be to add 25% profit, and step two will be to add 10% GST. Okay, so to add that 25% profit, I'm going to take our 472.73 and I'm going to multiply that by 1.25. So remember, with our percentage increase, I'm just adding 25% to 100%, and that gives me 125% as a decimal. That's 1.25, so if I multiply that by the amount, it will give me the amount with the profit. So 472.73 times 1.25 is 590.91 to the nearest cent. So this is excluding GST. Okay, now the retailer is going to add 10% on, so I'm going to take the 590.91 and multiply it by 1.10 to add that 10%. I'll go back to my calculator. 590.91 times 1.10, $650. And to the nearest cent, we're just going to say 0.00. So 650.00. Just wait for that. Okay, that looks okay. And that includes GST. Okay, so a little bit more complex than the calculations in the previous video. But that is the series of steps that we would follow. And this is how GST calculations work in real business. Okay, so go ahead and check the description for the video and try some of these types of GST questions.